So chair yoga can be great for anyone. It really used to be something that if you were an older adult or balance issues, they kind of created chair yoga so you could do it effectively. But some recent research shows that chair yoga can be beneficial for anyone, especially if you sit all day. And if you want to check out the research, I'll put a link in the description below. But the research shows that doing just 5 minutes every day can be more beneficial than doing a longer workout just once a week. So grab your chair and get ready. So it's some super simple movements. Really kind of work on your breath while you're doing it. If you know a lot about yoga, it's more about breathing and getting that relaxation. So the first one is just going to be a seated cat-cow. It's a really nice way to kind of get the pelvis moving, get those core muscles working in a nice gentle way. So if you think about a cat-cow when you're traditionally on your hands and knees, it's the same concept where you're doing a cat, you're kind of arching, and then you're doing the cow, or I like to call it a dog, and you're bringing everything forward. So really think about your breath, arching, going back into the cat, and then coming in into the cow. So just some nice breaths, really moving at the hips. Make sure those hips are moving. You can see the dramatic going back and forward, getting that nice pelvic movement in there, or, an anterior pelvic tilt and then a posterior pelvic tilt. But in yoga, that would be the cat-cow. So just getting that nice movement in there. I can already feel those muscles working. Really exaggerating it. You can even get that chest going forward and then curling everything in and tucking in your chin while you do that. So again, just some nice deep breaths through that, and then going into a QL stretch, or your quadratus lumborum, and that's a muscle in your back that can cause a lot of problems and a lot of irritation. So I like to just sit on my opposite hand to kind of keep everything down, and then you're just going to bring the other hand kind of up and over, looking up towards the palm of your hand, again doing some nice deep breaths while you're holding this. So this is really more for breath work, 3 to 4 nice deep breaths versus maybe that 30-second traditional stretch. I'm feeling all of that right in through here, kind of in that lower back area, coming back down, sitting on this side, coming up and over, getting that nice stretch in there. Some nice deep breaths, and then coming back down. Maybe 3 on each side. Again, with those breaths, it doesn't have to be necessarily for time, just getting that relaxation feeling in there. And then just going into some seated trunk rotation. So I like to take my opposite hand to the opposite knee, and then again, the nice deep breath in there. Maybe 3 or 4 nice deep breaths, and then rotating back to the other side. Let that hand get that nice gentle pull, and then coming back in there. 3 on each side, ideally, with those nice deep breaths in there. And then the next one is just going to be a trunk roll down. It's a really nice way to get your back loosened up. Just going down as far as you comfortably can, but ideally you want to take your hands all the way down to the floor. Spread your feet out a little bit so you have room to go down in between, and just roll that body down. If you can touch your hands to the floor, you'll get a nice stretch in your back, holding that for a couple breaths. And then slowly roll back up. Think about rolling one segment at a time of your back. You don't have to stop at each segment, but imagine that you're, rolling with one segment going down and getting that nice stretch as you roll down. I can really feel a nice stretch in my back. This would kind of be the alternative to the prayer stretch, especially if you have knee issues and it's hard to get down into that position. This is a similar stretch to your back as the prayer or the child's pose. And again, 3 times with some nice deep breath and breathing in between that. And then going into the breathing a little bit more would just be some diaphragmatic breathing. Diaphragmatic breathing is great just for general relaxation, getting some better lung capacity, but really think about where your gut is there's a lot of nerves and sensitivity. And so when people say, you know, I got to trust my gut, that's because we have a lot of emotions in there because there's so many nerves and we feel things, and that's where a lot of our organs are. So the diaphragmatic breathing is a great way to kind of relax and help calm everything down. So if you haven't done diaphragmatic breathing before, it can be, excuse me, she's trying to help me be able to get my diaphragmatic breathing in. So place one hand on your belly and then one hand on your chest area. So when you're diaphragmatic breathing, it's kind of what we would call belly breathing. So you want to breathe into the belly area. You're not breathing in the belly, but that's where you want the expansion to go in your belly. So the chest area should stay kind of in one spot, not moving a lot, and then you should feel your hand come out on your belly as you breathe in. So breathing in and then breathing out. So you see, as I breathe in, my hand expands and goes out, and then when I breathe out, it goes back in. So breathing in and breathe out. If you have a hard time doing this, you might not see it very much. Sometimes it is easier to do lying down. So if you're lying down in bed, you know, still hand on chest and hand on your tummy. And sometimes you can get that movement a little bit better, and then you can practice it again in sitting. So if you'd like to help support my channel, click on the link up there. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking down there by Callie. And remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.